Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Dune by Denis Villeneuve, starring Timothee Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Javier Bardem, and who knows how many countless others. This is an insane lineup, probably an ensemble cast. I'm a big fan of Villeneuve's work, and I have watched Prisoners, Enemy, Arrival, and Blade Runner 2049 from him, and all of them were great. He has a very distinctive visual style, focusing on cinematography. The only big film that I haven't watched from him is probably Sicario, so if that's worth reviewing on the channel, do let me know. I just got done with David Lynch's version of the same movie, Dune, on the channel a couple of months ago, and that was an excellent film. Do check it out when you have the time. I'll leave a link up there somewhere. Although it did feel like it had a couple of pacing issues, and I did have a hard time in following all the names and factions. It was very compelling cinema, but the story felt a little too condensed in my opinion. I still haven't read the books by Frank Herbert, though I'm definitely going to. I've known about Denis Villeneuve's version since the trailers came out, and when it was released in theaters, I couldn't go watch it because in my country, all the theaters were closed at that time, so I had to settle for reviewing Lynch's version. Now that it's out in digital, rather than watching it myself, I thought I'd review it on the channel to see which version I like better. My brother also recently watched it and told me that the entire film tackles about half the book, half of Lynch's version. I don't know whether that's a good or bad thing. My primary concern with Lynch's version was that it was too condensed. Now I'm worrying whether Villeneuve's version is too spread out. I guess we'll have to watch to find out. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 180 movies, 2 TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a Patreon. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Dune, Villeneuve, the entire ensemble cast. Let's go. Holy crap, dreams are messages from the deep.
My planet Arrakis is so beautiful when the sun is low.
Arrakis. Arrakis is Dune, where spice is produced.
At nightfall, the spice harvesters land.
I mean, you can already tell that it's a Denis Villeneuve film from cinematography. Oh man. I mean, I've been told the cinematography is really good, but that's to be expected from a Villeneuve film. I mean, the entire film was about the fight over Arrakis.
Our warriors couldn't free Arrakis from the Harkonnens. But one day...
The Harkonnens are the bad guys. Wow. I mean, it's clearly CGI, but it's done so well.
Why did the Emperor choose this path?
Dune. Part 1. There we go. It's only the first half of the first book. And I'm assuming Timothee Chalamet is Paul Caladan, homeworld of House Atreides.
It's good you're up, Birdie. Father wants your full dress before the Emperor's herald arrives.
Ooh. Rebecca Ferguson is playing the mom.
Use the voice.
Mom, I just woke up.
She's training his son to use the voice, which compels people to obey them.
Give me the water.
Almost.
Ooh, he's not quite there yet.
More dreams?
One of my observations, not complaints, in the first movie was that Paul was just powerful from the beginning to the end. So Denis Villeneuve is taking a different approach, showing a bit of his training, showing him to be a little weak at the beginning. I'm sure he'll have control by the end.
The Fremen share the deep desert with the giant sandworm.
The Fremens are the natives of Dune, Arrakis.
For the Imperium, spice is used by the navigators of the Spacing Guild to find safe
The
paths.
Space Guild. I remember that weird-looking creature from the beginning. Villeneuve is going for a grand scale, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Oscar Isaac is playing Leto. I forget his pronunciation. I wonder whether we'll get to see that space guild creature thing.
House Atreides accepts!
Well, they're not aware that they're being double-crossed. Okay, the CGI is pretty insane. I usually review films pre-2000s, so this is a noticeable bump in quality for CGI.
Duncan.
You've been trying to get me court-martialed.
Duncan, one of his mentors,
I've been having dreams.
the visions.
I saw you with the Fremen. Felt like if I had been there, you'd be alive.
You're the future of House Atreides. I need you by my side. By taking Arrakis from the Harkonnens and making it ours, he sets the stage for a war, which would weaken both houses.
He sees that the Emperor is playing both sides. This is a very important scene setting up the relationship between father and son.
I told my father I didn't want this either. I wanted to be a pilot.
You never told me that.
It's funny because he played as a pilot in Star Wars.
A great man doesn't seek to lead. He's called to it. And he answers.
Wise words.
Choose your blade.
Had quite a day, Gurney.
Oh, the visual effects here are excellent already. At least from Lynch's version.
They're not human, they're brutal! You have to be ready.
The leader for House Harkonnen was a big ugly dude in Lynch's version. I wonder if it's similar here or not.
It's done. Very good.
Oh. It's Stellan Skarsgård. He's playing the leader of House Harkonnen. And one thing I noticed from Villeneuve's film, his other movies, is that he really likes to use landscape shots. He really likes symmetry. His camera work is just fantastic.
What is this?
The Reverend Mother Guy's Mohaim is here. She wants to know about your dreams.
How does she know about my dreams?
I think it's time for that test. She's using the voice.
You dismissed my mother in her own house.
Come here. Kneel.
Oh, he's powerful.
Put your right hand in the box. The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box, and you die.
Ooh, this kid can act. Oh, perfectly timed music.
Enough. You've been training him in the way.
She's so relieved.
Did you have to go that far?
You chose to train him in the way, in defiance of our rule. If he is the one, he has a long way to go.
I love the score. Have they arrived at Dune? I think so.
My lord.
I mean, the costume design is so well done too. Oh, look at the aerial vehicle designs, like fireflies.
These people have waited for centuries for the Lisan al-Gaib.
You see what they've been told to see.
I mean, Paul is not wrong, but he has to believe in himself. So cool. But you have to admit, they look way cooler than some average helicopter.
What do they say about this hellhole again? To shower, you scrub your ass with sand, my lord. That's what they say. That's what they say.
And they don't look like they want to be here.
What is your name?
Shadow apes, my lady.
I know that you have a weapon concealed in your bodies.
Do you know this? Do you know its meaning? It is yours.
I remember this scene from the Lynch version. Okay.
Each one of these drinks every day the equivalent of 5 men.
Holy crap, that's one of the sand creatures. Oh no. I remember this scene. It's an assassination attempt. So tense. Paul notices already. But we know that Paul can keep his emotions in check. Close one.
It's a hunter seeker.
I don't give a damn about your honor. You want absolution? Go catch some spies.
Your Grace.
Wait, what the fudge?
The thing must leave. Get out!
Do you remember that giant spider at the end of Villeneuve's Enemy? That freaked the heck out of me. Oh man, he's as ugly as ever.
I give you my word. We will not harm them.
Why don't I believe you? Love the prosthetic work on Stellan Skarsgård.
If the Duke's son lives,
No Atreides will live. My desert. My Arrakis.
That is scary.
My Dune.
We won't see prophets like that for a while. Not with the equipment they left us.
I want to see these harvesting fields myself.
Dude, is that Javier Bardem? It is.
Hold. We accept it in the spirit in which it was given.
They have their own customs.
I cannot promise not to travel into the desert if duty compels me, but your sieges will be yours forever.
He's extending a hand.
She.
I recognize you as the one.
you admire them.
I do. They're fierce, but loyal.
The sheer scale that Villeneuve is showing is really impressive.
With your permission, sire, I must check the integrity of your system.
Oh, it's all right.
It cools the body and recycles the water lost to sweat. Worn a still suit before.
No, this is my first time.
Your desert boots are fitted slip fashion at the ankles. Who taught you to do that?
It seemed the right way.
She's impressed.
I see it.
You can see the spice scattered over the surface.
Worm always comes.
Always. They're drawn by rhythmic noises.
Right. That's why they have to walk in that weird, haphazard way. It is a worm.
Big one.
Is this scene going to play out differently?
Any carrier in the sector, please respond.
They're too far away. This is Paul's first encounter with the open desert.
Besides, we've got a full load of spice. We can't just leave
Damn the spice!
Damn the spice. That was very important. It shows that Leto is on Arrakis' side. I think he just consumed some spice unintentionally. Oh no! Paul, my man. The vibrations are causing them to sink.
May his passage cleanse the world and keep the world for his people.
Jeez, they are humongous. Swallowing up that harvester like it's nothing.
You cannot take such risks.
Yes, sir.
You have responsibilities.
I'm sorry, sir. It won't happen again.
Go. You know what will happen if I don't get spice production back on track.
Arrakis has seen men like you come and go.
But he has good intentions. I wonder whether we'll get to see Leto die in this one, or is Villeneuve saving it for part 2? She's a very talented actress, by the way. I've seen the first season of Euphoria. She definitely has the chops. Interesting.
Thought I saw my death, only it wasn't. Some things, though, are crystal clear. I can feel it.
Is that the sister? Imperial Army planet.
There's something you need to know about Paul.
Ever since you brought him before your Reverend Mother, he hasn't been the same. He's distracted.
If anything happens, will you protect our son?
Yeah.
With my life.
I'm not asking his mother, I'm asking the Bene Gesserit. I should have married you.
I mean, she is technically a concubine, right?
Security.
Oh no. I knew it. It is Dr. Yue.
God in heaven.
I wonder how many of these explosions are practical.
I'm sorry, my lord. The Harkonnens have my wife, Mana. They take her apart like a doll. I'm going to replace your back tooth.
Right.
If you bite down hard, this tooth will crash.
Yeah, you don't mess with Momoa. Right. Holy crap.
Don't you dare touch my mother. Remove her gag.
Shut up.
He's trying.
Remove her gag. Kill him.
That's awesome.
Give me the knife.
They're out in the open now, at the mercy of giant sandworms. Is the Baron here already, or will he be taken to the Baron? I think he's here already. And he's naked? Dude. So sinister, so scary. A man of few words.
I said I'd set her free.
That's what his words are worth. Decapitated with one stroke of the blade.
The Emperor sent us here to die.
So far, the strengths of the film has been the beautiful cinematography, the music, the slow-paced storytelling, which I feel so far is a double-edged sword. It's a good thing that Villeneuve is taking some time, but it might be a little too much time. We'll see.
Everyone's shouting my name!
Get off me!
You Bene Gesserit made me a freak!
Well, that's a bit much, don't you think, Paul? It's funny that we didn't get to see the Emperor at all. I wonder whether he's in part 2 or not. It is Duncan.
I'm so sorry. Your father.
We know.
Enormous sandstorm. The best cinematic sandstorm I've seen is probably from George Miller's new Mad Max film, Fury Road. That film had an excellent sandstorm.
Tanak, will you find still suits to fit our visitors?
Yes, Liet.
Plants.
The Emperor feared the Atreides. He brought you here to kill you. What don't you understand? You're a lost boy hiding in a hole in the ground.
He's more than that. Oh man. Is this another assassination attempt? I love the fact that there are no frequent cuts and we're actually getting to see the fight choreography. I really like that.
Good luck.
I don't doubt that she'll find her way. You can see the red in the sand. I love that little touch. Holy crap. That's bait. That's to attract the sandworm. Special effects, man. Everybody is sacrificing themselves to protect Paul. Duncan, this lady. But how do they find the Fremen now? I mean, what else was there to do?
We must move with the flow of the process. We must join it.
Be one with the desert. Oh, they're trying to heal the Baron. Okay, that looked very weird.
Send word to Katie Prime to begin selling our spice reserves, but slowly.
Ugh.
As soon as we land, run for the rocks.
And I can see why Villeneuve was chosen to direct this after Blade Runner 2049. I wonder how many worms there are on this planet. Oh, was that Duncan? How is he alive?
Don't be frightened. I will show you the ways of the desert.
Another vision with Chani and that other dude, who I don't believe we've seen before.
We're about to enter worm territory. We can't walk like regular humans.
I wonder what the Earth would be like if we had 2 moons. I mean, the tidal waves would be messed up, but it would have been beautiful. Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that. By the way, I'm currently reading a trilogy, the 3-Body Problem trilogy. I think it's called the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy. I'm in the 3rd book, and holy crap, that stuff is insane. I think even Netflix is making a show out of it next year. Does the worm sense Paul? Jeez.
Someone set off a thumper.
How big are they? That was insane.
I think she's talking to the audience directly. That was insane. We are not alone. I hope the Fremen are here finally.
Do not run.
They are the Fremen. Holy crap.
We need their water. This is the boy I told you about. We can't touch him. He's not the one.
I would not have let you hurt my friends.
Oh. They finally meet. The girl from his dreams. The girl of his dreams. Shani.
I don't believe you're the Lisan al-Gaib, but I want you to die with honor.
Oh, even she doesn't believe it. She's about to be proven so wrong.
This Chris knife was given to me by my great aunt. Jonas is a good fighter. He won't let you suffer.
Those aren't really words of encouragement. They're all just expecting him to die. We know that Paul's been trained by the best. There is no yielding.
Is he toying with him?
He doesn't want to kill.
Paul has never killed a man.
Nice hero moment. The music and the look and the vision. That dude is dead. And it's over. Shani should look surprised. The amount of time she told him that he's going to die. And there's your bloody blade from the vision. And it's not his blood. Villeneuve did a fantastic job with the world building in this movie. She's starting to believe now. Al-Gaib. The one. The prophecy.
My father came, not for spice, not for the riches, but for the strength of your people.
Damn.
My road leads into the desert. If you'll have us, we will come.
That was a good payoff. Paul's eyes are still not blue, which I find very interesting. I guess it takes time for the eyes to turn blue.
Desert power.
Desert power. And it ends here. Okay. So it ends with the alliance between the Fremen and House Atreides. The second half of this film will be the actual resistance movement against the Emperor. I can't wait. And the music is by Hans Zimmer. No wonder. I could almost tell it was either between Zimmer or Michael Giacchino. I had a really good time with this one, guys. Okay, I took a little time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a really good movie. I don't think it was perfect by any means, but I really like the fact that Denis Villeneuve took a very different approach to the film. I'd say the strength of the movie to be its world building, the insanely stunning visuals, the score, the performances, and the story, whereas my main concern was kind of true. The fact that the film had the opposite pacing issue to Lynch's version. It did feel a little slow, a little drawn out, a little artsy at times, which isn't a bad thing, but it's a common issue with Villeneuve movies. I mean, I get why he felt he needed to do that, to explore the world, characters a little more, but I think cutting down, 15 minutes from the runtime could have made the story flow a little better, if that makes any sense. Anyways, let's start with the directing by Denis Villeneuve and the screenplay by him, John Spates, I don't know how to pronounce his name, please correct me if I'm wrong, and Eric Roth. The writers and director take quite a while establishing House Eretris and the major players in this world. I think Paul's visions, they were given a special consideration in this version, as we see quite a lot of them, especially when they were complemented with spice, which leads me to Channy's character, who played a much smaller role in the movie. Although Zendaya did a pretty good job with the role, it kind of makes sense because in Lynch's version, I don't think she shows up till the end of the second act, if I recall correctly. So putting her in Paul's visions seemed like a good narrative choice in slowly introducing her character. One thing I did notice is the lack of the Emperor. He wasn't in this movie at all. In Lynch's version, there's a scene with the Emperor and the leader of the Space Guild, which I thought was fantastic, but it's completely missing here. I hope to see that in the second part. The Emperor was the main antagonist in the first movie, and the Baron was the secondary antagonist, but the Baron here, played by Stellan Skarsgård, who was excellent, he's shown to be the primary antagonist, the main villain here. Come to think of it, the Baron wasn't even defeated in this movie either. As a matter of fact, none of the bad guys were. I mean, the Baron was poisoned, but he recovered. I think this was more of a setup for the final battle, the Resistance, in the second movie, and this one was mostly about Paul and his character arc. This might be slight criticism in the sense that apart from Paul getting ready, believing that he's the one, none of the antagonists were even taken down at any point. So the payoff at the end is not as big as I'd hoped for, but on the other hand, it really hypes me up to see the conclusion to this story. I didn't feel like the film ended abruptly though. It had a clear 3-act structure, and I felt like Villeneuve did the story justice. Special shout out goes to Oscar Isaac's performance as Duke Leto. He really killed it here. Man, I love his performances. I also thought Josh Brolin and Jason Momoa did a fantastic job with their roles as Gurney and Duncan. They were both badasses. Javier Bardem had a much smaller role than I expected, like Channy, but I'm guessing this film was cast with 2 parts in mind, so he'll be back from the conclusion. Timothee Chalamet as Paul was excellent. I don't believe I've seen him in any other movie. This is my first movie that I'm watching starring him, and I did have my reservations about him being a pretty boy. I don't know, but my doubts went away after the hand in the box scene, which was great, where he had to express pain without making any noises. The man can act. There are no two ways about it. And his character transformation, his character arc in this movie felt very satisfying. Without his performance, I think it would have felt very shallow. So kudos to Chalamet. This is another way Villeneuve's version was different from Lynch's. Unlike Lynch's version, Paul wasn't all powerful at the beginning. We see him fail to use the voice before learning and controlling it. We see him mature and learn from his father, and the payoff at the movie's end was well worth the wait. Although I really hoped one of the bad guys would have died, maybe Dave Bautista's character, who's playing the Baron's nephew. Finally, let's talk about the conclusion. Again, I didn't feel like the film ended abruptly at all. I think it was a natural place to end things as he joins up with the Fremen, makes the alliance that his father really wanted and told him at the beginning of the movie. I did feel like the pacing was a little slow though. I believe cutting out 15 minutes from the runtime wouldn't have affected the narrative much and would have felt like a tighter edited, tighter cut film. That's just my opinion though. Great job in the writing, acting and directing departments. The cinematography and visuals were the highlight of the film for me. They were incredible. The desert looked gorgeous with hints of red, hints of spice on it. The creature designs. It was some of the best in recent years I've seen. Villeneuve, he's known for this, and it did evoke the feeling of being in this massive world while you yourself feel very insignificant in comparison. Like Blade Runner 2049, another of his films. The landscape shots were gorgeous. The fight scenes were well choreographed. I think the CGI complemented the practical stuff really well. The sandworms were immense and made me feel incredibly small. I also thought that the vehicle design, especially the Firefly aerial vehicles, the costumes and the sets were of the highest caliber. You can tell the budget was huge. I did feel like the color grading was a little monotone at times, but I guess it makes sense for a desert planet like Arrakis and in the context of this narrative. The score was another highlight of the movie for me. I didn't know it was Hans Zimmer doing it, but I did have my suspicions. He has a very distinctive style. It was unique to him. Almost the score almost felt like it had Middle Eastern roots with ethereal tones and quite the sense of wonder in the more supernatural scenes. The sound design was also stellar with deep bass notes as the worms engulfed whatever was in their path. Great job. As I did talk about my criticisms about the pacing and the lack of the Emperor character, or even one of the bad guys going down, I don't know. Overall, Dune by Denis Villeneuve was a visual masterpiece. Although it was half the story, the payoff at the end was well worth my time. And I'm very, very, very hyped up to see the conclusion to this epic. The performances from the entire ensemble cast, they were fantastic, especially Oscar Isaac and Timothee Chalamet. The visuals were otherworldly. The sense of scale was immense. The score was excellent. And the world building was second to none. I did feel like the film dragged on for a little longer than my personal liking. But apart from that, this was a great movie. Which was different enough from Lynch's version, so I don't think they should be compared. We'll have to wait for the conclusion. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.